Children of the sun, gather close, for the night grows wise. The moon hangs like a calabash above the acacia trees, and the wind carries the whispers of old stories. Let me tell you of a man named Mzee Juma wa Mwande, a fisherman of the coastal village of Kizingo, where the sea and land argue every morning about who owns the shore. In the days when dhows still ruled the tides and the markets sang with barter, Juma was known across the coast as the man who never settled for small things. If he caught a fish, he wanted a bigger one. If he found a pearl, he imagined one twice its size. His hands were strong, his back broad, but his heart was never full. He lived with his wife, Asha, a woman as patient as the sea before dawn, and their only daughter, Binti Zawadi, whose laughter was said to make mango trees blossom out of season. Their home stood near the mangrove line, where the tide would creep like a cat at dusk, licking the roots of the world. Now, my children, remember this. The one who has enough, but still reaches for more, soon loses even what he holds. One dawn, when the stars were still rubbing sleep from their eyes, Juma took his fishing net and walked to the sea. The water was calm, the color of ripe coconut milk. He sang an old Swahili song as he threw his net, a song of men and tides. Bahari, mama yasiri. Tupa zawadi, yuza chukuroho. Ocean, mother of secrets. Give a gift, but take not my soul. When Juma pulled the net, it felt lighter than usual, yet something shimmered inside. It wasn't a fish, it wasn't a crab. It was a bird, small, golden and trembling, with eyes like drops of morning dew. Its feathers glowed faintly, as if sunlight had woven itself into its wings. The bird spoke, yes, spoke, in a voice soft as sea foam. Kind fisherman, release me, and I will grant you your heart's desire. Juma's heart danced in his chest, a talking bird. He thought this must be one of the spirits of the coast, a messenger of fortune. What can you give me, small one? He asked. I have fished for years and never filled my boat with gold. The bird tilted its head. Gold, jewels, riches, I can show you where they sleep beneath the waves, but only if you let me go. Juma laughed, show me first, then I will free you. The bird shook its wings. It doesn't work that way, Mzee Juma. Trust must fly before reward. But Juma, like many men, did not trust what he could not see. He tied the bird in a woven basket and carried it home. He said to his wife, Asha, we are blessed. I have caught fortune itself. Asha frowned. My husband, if you caught fortune, why does it look like a creature that begs for mercy? Juma waved her off. You know nothing of the world's tricks. This bird will make us rich. And so, he kept the bird in a gourd cage near his bed, dreaming of gold beneath the sea. 3 nights later, as the moon curved like a fisherman's hook, the golden bird spoke again. Mzee Juma, have you not seen the blessings around you? The sea gives you fish, the earth gives you fruit, your wife gives you peace. Release me, and I shall reward your kindness. But Juma said, you will not trick me. Until I see your treasure, you stay. The bird sighed, a sound like the wind brushing palm leaves, and said no more. The next morning, Juma went to the market to sell fish. On the way, he met Mzee Bakari, an old storyteller known to trade gossip for food. Bakari saw the gleam of feathers through the basket and whispered, do you know what you carry, Juma? That is the Ndege warahadi, the bird of promise. It comes once in 100 seasons, but they say, if you hold it too long, your fortune turns to dust. Juma laughed. Old man, your stories are like dried fish, too salty and hard to swallow. Bakari shrugged. Even dried fish fills a stomach when hunger comes. That night, as Juma lay in his hut, the bird began to sing. It sang of distant forests, of silver rivers, and of 2 other birds, larger, brighter, flying freely over a mountain of emerald stones. Free me, it whispered between notes, and I shall lead you to my brothers. Their feathers can buy kingdoms, 2 birds more splendid than I, but only if you trust and let me go. Asha heard and trembled. Husband, she said softly. We have a house, a family, and a bird that sings. Why chase the shadows of others? Remember the saying, a bird in hand is better than two in the bush. But Juma's mind was already soaring beyond their thatched roof. He said, if one bird can speak, imagine what two can give. I will follow it. And the next morning, he set out with the bird in a woven pouch, heading north toward the mountains it had sung of. Juma walked for days, crossing rice fields and dusty paths. He met travelers who offered warnings, but his eyes burned with ambition. At the edge of the great mangrove swamp, he met a hunter named Omri, who carried a bow strung with lion gut. Where are you bound, fisherman? Omri asked. To find two golden birds more splendid than this one, Juma replied proudly. Omri whistled low. Ah, the forest of Nguvu Yoroho, many have entered, none returned. The spirits there do not trade in gold, they trade in greed. But Juma only smiled. Then I am the one who will return. He gave the hunter a smoked fish as thanks and journeyed on. As he entered the swamp, the air grew thick and alive with the sound of unseen things. The bird in his pouch stirred uneasily. Turn back, it whispered. The path is not meant for human feet. Silence, Juma hissed. Show me your brothers. The bird sighed once more, a sound like regret, and pointed its beak toward a faint glow beyond the reeds. By sunset, Juma reached the foot of a hill glittering with mist. Strange flowers grew there, their petals reflecting the moon like shards of mirror. And there, perched on a rock, were two enormous birds, their feathers blazing like living fire. They sang in a language older than tide and wind, and Juma fell to his knees in awe. He opened his pouch, and the little golden bird flew out joyfully, circling its kin. There it said, now your desire is fulfilled. Juma stepped forward, eyes wide. Come to me, O birds of light, let your feathers fill my hands. He reached for them, but the moment he did, the air cracked like thunder. The two great birds vanished into mist, and where the little golden bird had been, there was only a shadow fluttering weakly on the ground. Juma grasped at it, crying, come back, don't leave me empty. But the bird's voice echoed faintly. Greed is a cage with no door. Then it was gone. Juma wandered for days, lost and hungry. When he finally returned to Kizingo, his clothes hung like torn sails, and his eyes had forgotten light. He found his home silent, the roof half fallen, the cooking pots cold. Asha and Zawadi were gone. The neighbors told him Asha had fallen ill and left for her mother's village when food ran out. They said, your house waited, but hunger doesn't wait forever. Juma sat at his doorway for 3 days, staring at the empty cage. He whispered, I had one blessing, and I let it fly. The sea answered with its endless rhythm, not in comfort, but in truth. For weeks he roamed the beach, talking to the waves, until one evening he saw a small golden feather washed ashore. He picked it up, held it close, and said, a bird in hand is better than two in the bush. And from that day, Mzee Juma became a quiet man, a teacher of patience. He would sit with young fishermen, telling them, when fortune visits, treat her kindly, but never chain her. And when life gives you a gift, do not chase ghosts of more. Now, my children, the fire is low, and the moon grows tired. You have heard the story of Mzee Juma, who sought 2 birds and lost the one he held. Remember this. The world tests our hearts not with hunger, but with desire. Many men drown not because the sea is deep, but because they keep reaching for the next wave. So when your hands hold something true, love, peace, work, or friendship, guard it like dawn guards the first light. Do not let your hunger for more make you forget what you already have. For truly, my children, a bird in the hand is better than 2 in the bush.